Hi, I'm Ron Bateman, the Sheriff of Anne Arundel County. Welcome to your Anne Arundel's Most Wanted program, a program where we showcase wanted criminals, highlight open cases, and look to you for tips. You, concerned citizens, that share my same goal, and that's keeping our community safe. You'd be proud to know that your calls have allowed us to put handcuffs on thousands of criminals. So sit back, set your DVR, or grab a pen and paper, and help do your part in catching criminals. You're watching Anne Arundel's Most Wanted. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our first guest, Trooper First Class Katie Follen from the Maryland State Police, Glen Burnie Barrack. Welcome back to the show, Katie.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Who'd you bring for us?
For the Glen Burnie Barrack, we have 3 subjects. Our first is Avery Raymond North. He's a Caucasian male, date of birth of June 4th, 1977. He's 6 feet and 145 pounds. Last address of 389 Chestnut Trail in Crownsville, Maryland. On January 19th, 2017, MSP Glen Burnie troopers were dispatched to the Glen Burnie District Courthouse for a report of a violation of a protective order. Upon arrival, troopers made contact with the victim, North's mother, as she advised he had violated the protective order by threatening to kill her, as well as grabbing the steering wheel of her vehicle as she was driving him to pick up his medications. Based on the protective order guidelines and the victim's statements, an arrest warrant was issued on North for the violation, as well as first-degree and second-degree assault. The warrant was served that day as well. He was placed on supervised probation, which he later violated. North was summoned to appear in district court on November 15, 2017 for his violation of probation hearing, but failed to appear. He was issued a bench warrant and was served in February 2018. He was then issued another court date for the hearing, set for June 6, 2018, which he failed to appear for again. A bench warrant was issued and is still active with the MSP Glen Burnie Barrack. Our second subject is Siobhan Julia McNicholas, a Caucasian female, date of birth of March 12, 1976, 5 feet 10 inches and 180 pounds. Last address of 4720 Girton Avenue in Shadyside, Maryland. On June 6, 2017, a Maryland State Police Annapolis trooper encountered a black SUV that was disabled in the median, facing eastbound on the westbound span of Route 50 at Davidsonville Road. Upon exiting his patrol car, the male driver fled away from the scene. Investigation revealed the black SUV had been involved in a single vehicle collision, leaving the front seat passenger, McNicholas, trapped inside. EMS responded and transported her for minor injuries. After she was removed from the vehicle, the trooper observed in plain view a clear glass smoking device with burn marks containing suspected cocaine residue, where she had been seated. The trooper charged McNicholas with possession of CDS not marijuana and paraphernalia on an application and later obtained an arrest warrant. The arrest warrant is still active with the MSP Glen Burnie Barrack. She also has 3 open FTA warrants for unrelated traffic charges. And our third subject is Clifton Theodore Jones Jr., an African-American male, date of birth of February 12, 1965. He's 6 feet, 158 pounds, last address of 29 West Washington Street, Annapolis, Maryland. On March 12, 2017, a Maryland State Police Annapolis trooper conducted a traffic stop on Forest Drive at Domino Road on a white Dodge passenger vehicle for failing to stop at a steady red circular signal. Upon contact with the driver, he did not have his license with him. The driver was later positively identified as Jones Jr. MVA records revealed his Maryland driver's license was suspended 3 times. Jones Jr. was issued multiple payable and must-appear citations, and after 3 separate postponements, he was due to appear in Annapolis District Court on May 9, 2018, which he failed to appear for. A bench warrant was issued for his arrest and is still active with the MSP Glen Burnie Barrack. Jones Jr.'s license is still currently suspended.
Very good. Folks, you know the drill. You know the whereabouts of any of those individuals. Do not approach them. Instead, call that number on the screen, 410-222-1490 or 911 24 hours a day. Keep those calls coming in because your tips are definitely paying off. Katie, thank you very much.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Now, Sergeant Amy Megath couldn't make this month's reading because they are with the Annapolis City Police Department's fishing camp for the children in Annapolis. So Good for her, and I wish I was there with her fishing today, because I bet you they're biting. So let me read the two subjects supplied by the Annapolis Police Department. The first subject is John Kyle Shanholtz. Mr. Shanholtz, date of birth is September 30th, 1990. He's a white male, 6 feet tall, 220 pounds, has brown hair and unknown color eyes. His last known address is 2110 Sandy Mount Road in Finksburg, Maryland. The details provided are on March the 17th, 2018, an officer was patrolling the area of Dock Street when the officer was flagged down by several individuals who advised their associate had been assaulted. The officer located the victim outside the bar the incident happened inside of. Let me try that again. On March 17th, 2018, an officer was patrolling the area of Dock Street when the officer was flagged down by several individuals who advised their associate had been assaulted. The officer located the victim outside of the bar where the incident had occurred. The victim had visible injuries to the face consistent with blunt force trauma. The victim was disoriented from the blunt force trauma. The victim later on was able to tell what happened and identify the suspect as John Shanholtz. The officer was able to obtain an arrest warrant for Shanholtz. And the second and last subject for the Annapolis Police Department is Kelly Rolanda Hicks. Kelly Rolanda Hicks, date of birth is July 1st, 1983. She's a black female, 5 foot 7 inches tall, weighs 223 pounds, has black hair and brown eyes. This person has been charged with second-degree assault, malicious destruction of property less than $1,000, and violating a protective order. On June 14, 2018, at approximately 21:39 hours, officers responded to Madison Street for a report of an assault that had just occurred involving bleach being thrown on the victims. One of the victims stated that the suspect had a pole and a cup full of liquid. When the victim parked the vehicle, the suspect opened the door and threw the liquid that was in the cup on the victims inside the vehicle. The victims identified the suspect as Kelly Hicks. The victim also stated that Hicks has an active protection order against her. The officer obtained an arrest warrant for Hicks. So folks, you know the drill. If you know the whereabouts of any of these two individuals, do not approach them. Instead, call that number on the screen, 410-222-1490 or 911, 24 hours a day. And I can't say it enough, keep those calls coming in because your tips are definitely paying off. Now everyone recognizes our next guest, Marklemansky, the Public Information Officer from the Anne Arundel County Police Department. Welcome back to the show, brother.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Who'd you bring for us?
We have two for you today, Sheriff. The first subject is Crevon DeAaron Brown. On June 23, 2018, at approximately 1:12 a.m., Brown forced his way into his former girlfriend's home and assaulted her and her current boyfriend. The suspect and another male entered the home and held a gun against the male victim's head. Brown then repeatedly punched the female in her face and torso and the left side of her rib cage with his fist. He then went downstairs, retrieved a kitchen knife, and destroyed the downstairs area by smashing mirrors, glass tables, and windows, slashing open the sofa units, causing over $3,000 in damage. He then fled from the home. Detectives applied for and received an arrest warrant for Brown, charging him with first-degree assault and destruction of property. Brown is a 30-year-old, 5 foot 8 inch tall, 200-pound African-American male with black hair and brown eyes. His last known address is 409 Hilltop Lane in Annapolis. He is known to frequent the Crane Highway, Knoll Park Court corridor. Our last subject is Brandon Gallen Floyd. On June 16, 2018, at approximately 5 a.m., officers responded for a commercial robbery at the Royal Farm Store located at 7201 B&A Boulevard in Glen Burnie. The suspect approached the counter and requested 30 packs of cigarettes. As the clerk was retrieving the merchandise, the suspect lifted his shirt, revealing a handgun tucked into his waistband. The suspect then grabbed the cigarettes, exited the store, and fled in a silver four-door vehicle. Investigators were able to obtain very clear images of the suspect through the review of video footage. The suspect was positively identified by parole and probation officers as Brandon Gallen Floyd. So today we're looking for Brandon Gallen Floyd, who is a 30-year-old African-American male with a medium build with a tattoo of Zone 15 over his left eyebrow. He has an address of 9105 Thistledown Road, apartment 160 in Owings Mills, Maryland. Floyd has active warrants for armed robbery in both Anne Arundel County and Baltimore County. He is also wanted for violation of probation.
With that tattoo, that guy ought to be easy to find.
Absolutely, sir.
Folks, you know the whereabouts of any of those individuals. Do not approach them. Instead, call that number on the screen, 410-222-1490 or 911, 24 hours a day. Mark, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
And now for those subjects wanted by the Anne Arundel County Sheriff's Office. Let's see. Our first subject, it's going to be Patrick Robert Aldridge. Now, on June the 18th, officers responded to an address in Gambrills for the report of an assault. And upon arrival, officers located the victim bleeding from his face, legs, and arms. Officers learned the victim was brutally assaulted by Patrick Aldridge. Witnesses reported Aldridge attacked the victim and repeatedly punched him while he was defenseless on the ground. Wow. Now, due to the extent of the victim's injuries, police charged Aldridge with first and second degree assault. Aldridge fled the scene prior to police arriving. So today, we are looking for Patrick Robert Aldridge, who is a 44-year-old white male with a date of birth of March the 29th, 1974. He's 5 feet 11 inches tall and weighs 215 pounds. His last known address is 1344 Defense Highway in lovely Gambrills, Maryland. Now our next subject, that is going to be Stephen Christopher Carson. In June of 2017, this subject was found guilty of 2 counts of resisting arrest and sentenced to 2 years of probation. He has since violated almost all conditions of his probation and now has a warrant. Deputies have made multiple attempts around the Annapolis and Edgewater areas, but have been unable to locate him. He is possibly homeless and may be staying in Baltimore City. To our knowledge, this subject does not have a vehicle or cell phone and is unemployed. He has previously been arrested by deputies in the Edgewater area, but has not been seen in the area for a few weeks. So today, we are looking for Stephen Christopher Carson, who's a 29-year-old white male, who's 5 foot 11 inches tall and weighs 208 pounds. His date of birth of December the 26th, 1988, and his last known address is on 7th Avenue in Edgewater. Now, our last subject is going to be Devon Michael Gordon. On May the 25th, officers responded to an address on Shetlands Lane for a report of a burglary. The homeowner reported that someone had forcibly entered his residence by shattering the sliding glass door. The victim had over $3,000 worth of jewelry and over $200 cash stolen during the burglary. Now, a witness was able to provide the description of a male wandering around the neighborhood at the time of the burglary. Detectives were able to develop a suspect in the case using witness accounts and pawn shop records. Good work, guys. The subject charged is identified as Devon Michael Gordon. Today, we're looking for Devon Michael Gordon. He's a 29-year-old white male with a date of birth of August the 31st, 1988. He's 5 foot 11 inches tall and weighs 180 pounds. His last known address is 457 Cornell Court in Glen Burnie. Now, folks, I want to thank a few people that allow this show to happen every single month. First, man behind the camera, Mr. Dale Boyer. From my office, Lieutenant Brian Andre, who does an outstanding job. Our county executive, Mr. Steve Shue. Chief of Police, Tim Altamari from the Anne Arundel County Police Department. And from the Annapolis Police Department, Chief Scott Baker. And the Maryland State Police Superintendent, Colonel Bill Palazzi. Remember, folks, I'm your Sheriff, Ron Bateman. Let's keep Anne Arundel County safe. We'll see you next time on Anne Arundel's Most Wanted.